It's a Friday. I'm showing up in my sweats. I didn't sleep in them, however, but the point is I'm showing up. And this is a little bit of what I wanted to talk about today. So I'm gonna let it be my inspiration in how high achieving Gen X, especially women, have a certain quality of how we do everything that doesn't normally allow for this, right? And the pressure. And thank God we were not raised with social media. Anyways, my point is I want to talk a little bit about this habit. That was the word I was looking for. This habit that I seem to have had. I'm going to talk in past tense because that's my way of conditioning my brain and my body to continue to release this proclivity, this tendency of overproducing everything. Some will refer to it as perfectionism. Some refer to it as high achieving, overachieving, proving. There's a lot of adjectives or adverbs that can describe what I'm talking about. But as a newer entrepreneur, this is something that I have had to reckon with many times over. And it's still, I am just really aware, and I wanted to be vulnerable and transparent about that because I know I'm not alone in how this is truly an Achilles heel currently of my expanding in my business. So I wanted to first name it. And the last thing I want to say about it is as an entrepreneur who's currently operating as a solopreneur, that means everything's happening pretty much through me and then with all these online tools. And AI has been a tremendous support, but as of now, it has definitely saved me a lot of time, but it's also taken me on a lot of rabbit holes because I'm somebody who has really probably lacked enough co-creativity of my own within the workspace because of the roles that I tended to play. And so I've had a lot of fun, but it also has been a distraction. That being said, because there's a constant companion there, there's a lot of overproducing that can happen, like when to call it and knowing how to time manage, how to be efficient, how to focus, how to prioritize, how to have a deference to expertise, even with yourself, and even if you don't have anyone to delegate to. So these are all the things that I know as an experienced professional and leader, somebody that has created teams and built companies and brands in so many different disciplines. And yet when you're doing it with and for yourself, it's a whole new ballgame. But I just happened to see a quote a moment ago that I've seen before. I think it was Sarah Blakely and it's probably not the first time it's been said. She might have co-opted from somebody else, but it's like becoming an entrepreneur or starting a business is going to confront you with all of the things that you really need to face and heal. So I am talking about overproducing. So I'm using these as my little markers. So the first thing I want to say about this is the history. So as a Gen X woman, I have absolutely been conditioned to be a producer, to receive acknowledgement, recognition, be seen, loved through what I could create and produce. And I did not get to create a family. So a lot of my babies and bodies of work were in my career, were in my professional experience. So that became very habitual for me. And what I have come to find in this entrepreneurial journey is how much it definitely impacted my time management. I do think this is related to an ADHD experience. I have not been formally diagnosed, don't know that I want to be or need to be, but I have read a lot of different things around ADHD, and there's different individuals or women that I follow, and when they talk about it and they name it, I can relate to pretty much everything they say. That being said, I also feel like it's perpetuated by an industry or a industrialization of society that even decided that 40 hours is the hours and how much they try to put on individual people. And I've worked in different industries like retail, for example, many, many, many decades ago, where they had a lot of class action lawsuits because the work was not able to get done in the hours and employees were working off the clock because they wanted to finish the project and they wanted to be successful and they wanted to do a good job. So the point is there's a history here, and this habitual part of how we've been raised up And when your sense of worth or value is now synonymous with what you can do and what you can produce, it becomes, I think, very unconscious. Now, for me, it's almost hyper conscious, and I am aware that it's something that I am ready to shift. So I just wanted to name it because the overproducing for me is something that can, and I'm going to move on with my next rock here, semi-precious stone. So here's how it shows up the most for me. Because I also know that I am a collaborator, I am somebody who really enjoys collaborating and bouncing ideas off and co-creating experiences and work product. Now that I'm doing something on my own, basically AI has become that collaborator unless I'm doing a partnership with somebody, but it's been mostly AI. So what I'm finding is that part of it is that I'm not a master of all these tools. Then you throw in technology and there's all kinds of things that can happen. And it happens almost every time. I'll give you an example. I think it was yesterday, I was downloading a video file from a part of this program that I'm leading right now. And I was having a challenge downloading it because I basically need to get a plug-in. My computer really needs to be updated at some point, but I need to get like a plug-in Ethernet. That would help me. I don't have that. I have a Wi-Fi that with all the media I'm now working with is not really going to suffice. In the meantime, though, it means it goes really, really slow. And then that means I can't really do a whole lot of other work, or I'll try to work on one thing that maybe isn't going to need as many browsers open or as many high functioning tools open. And I'm not remembering right now, but there's always like a perfect scenario and situation that occurs that creates the additional time. And Canva, for example, Canva is something that I love playing in Canva, but so far, I have not been able to do anything very fast and efficient there. And I'm aware that sometimes I'm drawn to these women that like share and teach these tools and they do it super, super fast as though they can just teach you how to do it super, super fast, but their brains work differently than mine, or they have a lot more experience using it. So I just want to name this, that it's not just this propensity, although that is the base of it, this habitual thing to have this tendency to just keep adding, adding, adding. It's also impacted by skill. It's also impacted by technology. It's also impacted by things that are out of my control, out of your control. Another piece to this, especially if you are building a business and you're wearing all the hats, is that oftentimes there's a ripple effect. So for example, I joined this visibility expander, but it's basically a marketing challenge with a very skilled and very cool creator and businesswoman that's doing this 30-day challenge, and it's focused on sales. So I got stuck in the very beginning, or almost in the beginning, when I had to start describing what I do, or when I had to give my bio, and there's no AI in this challenge. So that was even more confronting. So what I wanted to share, though, the example I wanted to share is that if I'm starting to talk about something that I do, and then I want to go and connect with the languaging, and the next thing I know, oh, I haven't, maybe I've shifted some of that. So my point is, like, one thing can lead to another, can lead to another, that can lead to another. And I know this is not unusual to me as well, too. But all of those things are exacerbating this tendency to overproduce. And I just really want to call that out, acknowledge it, throw some understanding and compassion toward it, and then let's see what we can do about it. So my last beautiful stone here. I'm not a gemologist, otherwise I'd be telling you what these all are. What has been so powerful about this experience is really the facing it, is the seeing it in real time, the being in it and truly not feeling like I know how to stop it or move around it. And I've led teams, I've led big teams, but I've never done anything all by myself. So there's no one to do it with or to delegate to or to, like, I'm not somebody who feels like I have to do it all myself, but in this case, I am the one having to do it all myself. So it's really challenging me. And what I'm aware of, because in this challenge I mentioned a moment ago, I've really struggled. And initially, I would say, after I was trying to like square peg round, hold myself to get it done, this thing that was a daily thing, I wasn't successful. So then after a couple of days, I was feeling really shitty. I was judging I wasn't even aware until I became aware. I was just judging myself. I was feeling like silly that I joined this challenge. I was like, why did I spend the money? This woman is definitely worth it. And she's so talented. And I'm grateful to be a part of this. And there's been some shifts, but I was really judging myself. And then all of a sudden, I have this thought of like, after about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 days, like, just stop. Like, you just have to stop. You're just going to have to let it go that you're not doing it every day. You have to give yourself some space. So that was a huge kind of shift for me, an opening to allow myself. And overproducers often don't do that. We think we can just keep pushing through because that's what we've done so many times and we've been successful at it. But what it's really brought forward to me, because I'm still in this challenge and I'm committed to completing it as best I can. I'm going to give every single prompt my best. And my intention is to shave off time with each one and to start practicing letting things go before they are the way I want them to be. I just created this video that was introducing what I do, and I put so much time into it, and it's got very little engagement. And I had an awareness of I didn't really do a great hook. So I deleted it. I deleted it so that I could add the hook and repost it. Not that many people even acknowledged it, but my point is it's the crazy shit that we do. But what I wanted to share and what I want this last stone to represent before I wrap this up is that I'm so aware now that it's a nervous system thing. I have to recalibrate my nervous system to this new way of being. I have to do it incrementally with choices and decisions that I'm going to stay actively connected to. But it's also a rewiring of my nervous system. And I don't have this all figured out, but nervous system work is not new to me. It's something that I do teach with the information I do have. I'm still building on that insight and information. I've been working with an embodiment mentor for over 2 years that has been profound, and she is a nervous system expert. It just really became clear to me that I need to retrain my nervous system. And I wanted to share this with you because that is likely the case for something that you have been struggling to release, shift, transcend, get over, make new. So consider that, play in that field, think about it, what that might look like for you. And maybe I'll share more about it as I go along. And don't withhold the compassion. This comes back to that neutral observation that I've mentioned before that I need to do its own video on. But the opportunity is always here to be a witness, to be a neutral observer, to give yourself the space that will allow you to see the things you can't see when you're trying to figure it out, when you're trying to understand it, or when you're judging it and making it wrong or avoiding it. All those things, we can do all of them, and sometimes all at once. So the opportunity is really to observe, to be open and willing and see what you find out. So I know I'm not alone in the overproducing category as high achieving women, and I'm very much willing to let it go. I'm very interested and committed to transcending this way of being that I've had for many years. Why? Because I know it no longer serves me. I know it's not necessary. I know I don't need to create and succeed by brute force, especially when that brute force I'm putting on myself. Till next time, I'm Jennifer Herrera. Thank you so much for being here with me.